Okay. In the last couple of classes, what we have started on Thursday and Friday, we have seen what is data engineering and what as a data engineer you will be doing. We have seen use cases, right? And we have seen a very layman term explanation. And now we know that what we are going to do, people who have missed out the first 2 day session, that is Thursday and Friday, requested to go and watch our recording. This is the third class for this course. So here, what we'll be doing is, as part of our subject, we have to learn all the tools which you're seeing on the screen, right? To become a data engineer. So you have to learn SQL, you have to learn Python, you have to learn data warehousing, you have to learn big data, Hadoop, Spark, and you have to learn cloud computing, right? So this is what we have discussed. Now, just imagine, just imagine data engineering is a Mount Everest. Data engineering is a Mount Everest. Where is Mount Everest?
Himalayas.
Himalayas.
It's in highest point of level.
Where is Mount Everest? Which place?
It's in Nepal.
Nepal. Okay. So Mount Everest is the highest peak, right? It's the highest peak. Imagine like data engineering is a Mount Everest. Now you want to go to Mount Everest in the sense you keep your path easier because it's very far. It's very far and it's very complex to climb. So while climbing, you cannot take your trolley bag there. Have you seen anyone carrying a trolley bag to climbing into Mount Everest? No. They'll try to keep very simple, right? They'll wear a kit where they'll have everything placed. So they try to keep weightless so that we can walk far, right? Even when you want to walk somewhere, you try to always avoid your luggages and covers and handbags, all these things, right? Now, just think data engineering is very far. Now have to carry something to reach there. And that important thing that you have to take care of is you need two hands, right? One hand is going to be SQL, one hand is going to be Python. If you are good with SQL and Python, let me tell you, your 60% of your data engineering is done. If you're mastering SQL and Python, your 60% of your data engineering is done. Okay, what this 40% then? Well, what you're doing in SQL and Python, you're trying to focus to organize the data. That is what is called data warehousing. That is what is called data warehousing. You have to organize the data well. With the languages that you have learned, SQL and Python, you will be pushing into a data warehousing where you're organizing the data into proper tables, files, formats, everything. But nowadays, we have a problem. We have a problem. What is that problem? We were just dealing with data, but for the last 6-7 years, the data has become big data. So the problem we have is big data. We are unable to manage the big data. So even though you're learning with SQL and even though you're learning with Python, we are unable to manage the big data. So to manage the big data, we have two solutions. One solution was Hadoop, one solution was Spark. So that will be our next path in our roadmap. And whatever you have done, like SQL, Python, data warehousing, and what you have seen as a problem that is a big data, and a solution that we have seen Hadoop and Spark, all of this we have to implement it in cloud. I have already told you why are we going to cloud. Everything I cannot do it in my on-prem. The example which I've given is a car, right? Rather than buying a car, renting a car is much easier. It saves me a lot of money, time, and efforts. The same way, What we are going to do, like 1, 2, 3, 4, we are going to do it in the cloud. So this is a roadmap, and here we will be starting with Python. Okay, so SQL is already done as part of this batch. People who have missed SQL, once you get registered to this course, you will get the complete recording of SQL. So you can parallelly go through it. And please do remember, your SQL and Python are not related to each other. Don't come to a mindset that, okay, only if I understand SQL, I'll understand Python. No, it's two different languages. So parallelly, you can go through SQL and Python. So today we will be starting with Python, and people who have joined 2-3 days back, for you, SQL would have been already been there as part of recording. Or if you feel like, no, I have to attend only live class, then in KSR, you're eligible to attend any SQL classes from any batch. Okay, so maybe next 2 weeks we may be starting another batch in the evening, or we may be starting another batch at 8:30 in the morning after this batch. It all depends on which time we have. You please join for SQL and parallelly cover SQL. Or if you feel like, no, I have to go with recordings, go with recordings. It's completely up to you. But as part of this, in the Python, we are taking a new admission, and that is why most of you people are here. Some of you would have already attended SQL, and some of you are coming new. So you're comfortable, right? You either go with the recordings or you choose another batch where you will be learning SQL. SQL and Python is not related. You will be needing SQL and Python here. Okay, to come here, it will take another 2 months. While coming here, okay, till you come here, you have 2 months time. So 2 months time, please go through your recordings, please go through your practice, please go through your assignments, what has been given in SQL, try to complete all that so that your data engineering becomes smooth, right? So I've told you clearly, data engineering completely relies on this too. If you know this too, automatically everything you can learn. Okay, with that, let's get into the subject.
Santosh, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, what about NoSQL? Like that is also required for data
That
engineering?
we will be covering as part of cloud.
Okay, okay, got it. Thanks.
Now, let's talk about Python. Python. I feel like it's a snake name. Any guess why they have kept a snake name to a technology?
Yes, it's too very big.
Might be it's tough.
What? Tough one. Python is tough? Okay.
It's flexible.
I always have a habit of this. Okay. Whenever a technology name is there, I'll think, why these people have kept Python? Why these people have kept Spider? Why these people have kept Anaconda? What is this? All this? So I always keep wondering. Okay. Now I'll give I'll give a use case. You tell me whether this is correct or not. Okay. This Python, it can eat any animal, it seems. Is it true? It can even eat a human body, it seems. Is it true?
No,
No. I've seen in National Geography channel. It's swallowing all the other animals and other. I mean, it swallows humans also. Is it true?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the big snacks.
Yes.
no, Santosh.
No.
Only maybe Anaconda.
In the
I
Anaconda
also
movies,
can do,
seen
but
something
not Python.
in the movies we can see.
Yeah, in the movies you can see, you can also see in your reels, or you can see in your National Geography channel.
Animes.
Yeah, I have a habit of watching this National Geography channel. I keep
Yeah.
watching this, right? So it has a power to swallow anything, right? It could be anything, right? It has a swallow. It can swallow. It can even swallow a human body. That's what we have seen. Now, what I think, just tell me whether it's a true or false, okay? This is a question to be answered. The answer is either true or false. this Python language has the power to eat every other language. That's why it's called Python. Is it true?
Yes.
Python has the power to eat every other language. Python is going to replace every other language, and that is why it is called snake name as Python. Is it correct?
No, Santosh. Might be this one developed by someone named Python.
Okay. What about others? What do you think? Why they have kept the name?
70% true, maybe.
70% true. Okay. Okay. People who are thinking that, yeah, Python can eat any other animal. Similarly, the Python language can eat up every other language. That's not true. The reason why they have kept is, uh, before that, I'll also tell you a bit of agenda what we are going to cover. So today we are going to see what is this Python, and followed by, if you're learning any language, we don't need to know about the complete history. At least we'll try to understand who invented and when it was invented. And followed by, you work with any programming language. The first step is you have to have the installation. So let's have the installation ready. And finally, we'll go with some basic commands. Okay. Now, this will be the agenda for today. So let's see what is this Python. So Python, it is a general purpose high programming language. Okay. So we call it as general purpose high level programming language. And the father of Python is Guido von Rossum. I don't know how to spell it, but you can see who is the father of Python. Now, I want to understand what is this high level programming language, right? We are learning programming for the first time. So let's see what is this high level programming language. So I'm showing you one small example. I'm showing you one small example. I want someone to tell me what we are doing in this example, and the person who's going to answer this question has to be from non-coding background. Anyone? Just see the code, tell me what it is doing. And you should have never written any code till now. If you are that person, just observe and tell me what we are doing in this. With your just English language, just tell me what you're doing. Just read the code and try to tell me what we are doing. High
Addition
level.
of two numbers.
Sorry?
Addition of two numbers.
Addition of two numbers. Are you sure?
Mm, yes, Santosh.
Okay. How do you know this?
Because they are written a result equal to a plus b.
Okay.
Um, and at the top they are defining numbers a comma b and giving number 1 is 5, number 2 is 10.
Okay.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
why.
Have you written any code before?
No.
Okay.
No,
So
Santosh.
what's your name?
Chaitanya.
Okay. Chaitanya has never written even a single code, but he is telling that we are adding two numbers in the example one, which I've highlighted. And I asked him the reason. He's simply saying that, yeah, I have written this a plus b and I've written some add number. So he knows it, what we are doing. He is not good at syntax, right? He don't know how to write it, but still is able to explain what we are doing. Okay. Now, this is a high level programming language, which Chaitanya was able to tell. Now, anyone can tell what we are doing here?
Yeah. Same process, but in difficult terms, in difficult syntax.
Okay. Any other answer? What we are doing in the second code? First of all, is it easy to understand?
No, it's like same addition of two numbers.
In the microcontroller language.
Very good. Microcontroller. How many of you have used microcontroller? In your engineering college time, you would have microcontroller, microprocessor. You have used all that? Yes?
Yes,
Seems
Santosh.
like everyone is sleeping early morning. Come on, wake up. Monday morning, you have to be very active to have a very good week. Come on, be active. So, in this example, I have shown you two code, and to our surprise, both are same code. We are going to add two numbers. We are going to add two numbers. But what is the difference is high level programming language, it is very easy for us to understand what is happening. Like even if you don't have a coding background, it is in the normal English words where you can understand. So to define what is this high level programming language, high level programming language is something which human understands. And low level programming language, humans find it difficult to understand, and in fact it is understood by system. Okay, now try to understand this. Imagine this is you, okay, and this is, imagine it is computer. Whatever the code which you write, you have to make sure that the computer understands. Okay, whatever you write, the code, the computer should understand. Computer usually understands low level programming language. That is nothing but this one. It usually understands low level programming language, because end of the day system has to understand, right, what is me going to do it, right? But if you go with a Python you can write it with a high level programming language, and that internally will convert into low level programming language and make it system understand, right? Now the only difference between a high level programming language and low level programming language is something which human can understand directly is called high level language. That's why we are able to understand. A person who has never done a coding before is able to tell me what we are doing, and that is a high level programming for you. And the person who has never done, or even the person who has used a lot of programming language, may find it very hard to understand this, because this piece of code is specifically for a system understanding. I don't know what is this EAX, I don't know what is this XOR, I don't know what is this INT, I don't know what is this start, I don't know this global start. It becomes very difficult for me to understand, and I don't want to bother about this, because system will understand, I need not understand, right? So that way, your Python is very, very easy, because you can understand what you're writing. Okay. Now, people keep asking me this: to learn programming languages, what background should I have? And I'll give the question for you people. You people tell me, if you feel like you all want to learn a coding background, if you want to learn a coding subject, what is a background that is required? Anyone? You should already have knowledge on C, C++, Java, or you should be coming from a computer science background. Do you feel anything?
Oops concept, basic.
Okay. Okay, you should have hoops concept. Okay. Anyone else?
Yes, data structures.
Data structures. Okay.
Interested to learn to adapt that new programming language.
Interested to learn. Okay.
Good in logical thinking.
Good in logical thinking. Okay. Anyone? That you need to be from a computer science background. I should have done engineering. I should have learned C, C++ before. If you're all thinking this, right? If you're all thinking is what is a prerequisite to learn Python, that I have to learn I have to know hoops concept. I have to know at least some basic coding. I have to come from a computer science background. I need to know C, C++. I need to know data structures. If you're all thinking that these are all required to learn Python, I am sorry to say this, you're on the wrong direction. If you want to learn Python, if you want to master Python, the only thing what you really need is The language English. If you know English, you can easily write code in Python. As simple as that. Don't believe everyone saying that, okay, you have to come from coding background, you have to know that, you have to know data structures, you have to know C, C++ and all. Don't think all that. People are always there to confuse you. Just believe in me. If you want to learn Python, you need to know English. A person who did not know anything about coding is able to tell what is this code doing. Because every single line that you see in a high level programming language, what we have written is a normal English word. I know what this is going to do. I know what is this is going to do. I know what is this is going to do. I know what is this is going to do. I know what is this is going to do. I'm going to print. It's a normal English words, right? So if you are thinking and if you are in that perception that, oh yes, you have to know all of the basics to learn Python, that's not correct. If you want to learn Python, you just need to know English. Okay. And every single day you need a practice. Every single day you need a practice. If you practice, the subject is yours. If you don't practice, it's very difficult. Okay. Now let's see. Python was introduced in 1989 in the National Research Institute of Netherlands. And so the father of Python is Guido van Rossum. No need to remember all this, right? And if you people are thinking that Python is like coming from a snake name, that's not correct. So Python name came from a popular show, the Complete Monty Python Circus. That was a popular show. From there, they have taken the Python name. And it is also called a dynamically typed programming. Okay, let's see what is this dynamically typed programming. So just in this slide, if you want to remember, just remember that, okay, it's a high level programming language and it is coming, name is coming from a popular show, which is called the Complete Monty Python Circus. From that, they have picked the Python word. Okay, now, why are we using Python for data engineering? We will see. Okay, so why are we using data engineering? Why are we using Python for data engineering? We have a large community. We have a large community. What do you mean by large community? If you have some issue, you can go and ask the Python experts and they will help you. You need not break your head for figuring it out the logic, or you need not break your head to figure out the syntax. You need not break your head for writing the implementation. Everything, there is a team who will help you. Imagine you're living in a flat, okay, a big flat, 200 houses are there in that flat, and there is some issue with your electricity or maybe some issues there. So you need not call anyone. There is a people within that flat's community people itself, they will help you, right? Any issue if you have, you just give a call, they'll come back, right? It could be a plumbing issue, it could be electrical issue, it could be any issue. You'll still get that, right? You'll still get that help. They're having their own experts within that community. Similarly, for us also, I've already told you data engineering is a very long process. So I have to make my work easier. So why should I make my coding very difficult? So that is why I've chosen Python. In Python, we have already a lot of people who have been working with us. They will help us. So that is why we call it as a larger community. Now, if you see here, I will go and ask one question. How do you read one line followed by another statement? You'll get the answer. Automatically convert a Jupyter notebook to a Python file. I asked a question. I have three answers. Okay, I ask some question on automatically I will get the answer. Now, this is what I said. Community will help you to figure out what is the answer. You need not break your head. This community will help you, right? So that is why that's the first use case that I will be using Python for data engineering. And very easy syntax. Last week, I had been to my native and I've seen they're teaching Python for 5th standard students. Python for kids, it seems. Coding for kids. And let me ask this question. How many of your kids are also learning coding? Anyone?
Yeah, my kid, he is in learning path. Python, as you
What
said.
what class is studying?
He's in first standard.
First standard and is learning coding, huh?
Yeah, they started basics.
I hope you are not in India, right?
No, it is there. It is there
You are in India?
yeah,
Oh, surprising. First standard. They don't even
yeah,
know ABCD.
yeah. No, they already started actually. It's a CBSE school, so they just started teaching. Yeah, it's
Okay.
very basic. Yeah,
Okay. And this is a motivation for everyone. When a first standard student can learn Python, can't you? Can't you?
Yes.
When a first standard student is learning Python, can't you?
We can.
We can. A teacher is teaching there, and here a mentor is teaching you. Like anyone can learn Python. Python is a very easy syntax, right? It's very easy. Once you start practicing, everything is easy, right? Now, I'll show a small example. I want to just print hello world. Okay. I want to print hello world. For printing a hello world, the most familiar programming language that you keep hearing is Java. I'm comparing Java versus Python here. In Java, to write a simple hello world, oh my God, I have to write this much of lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. Okay. So just for printing one hello world, I have to write 4 to 5 lines. Forget about lines. The most frustrating point is for writing one hello world, I have written 4 brackets. That's the most difficult part. For writing one print statement, I have to write 4 brackets. Literally, I don't understand why they're writing 4 brackets. Right? And they've written some string, arg, main, void, static, public, class, main, method, add, logic. Oof. It's very, very hard to remember all this. Right? But come on. Why are we worrying about this? We are anyhow writing in Python. In Python, the syntax is very easy. It just says that print hello world. No need to write any of the predefined words that what we have written in Java. No need to write brackets. No need to write some additional code. You can simply go and write print hello world. Now that's the Python for you. So it's a easy syntax. Okay, it's a very easy syntax. So that made our work easier. Now, in the slide number 1, you're also telling that Python was a dynamic programming language. Let's see what is this dynamic programming language. And there is again a difference between Java and Python. So obviously we have started comparing now Java with Python. So we have to see what Java can do, what Python can do. Let's figure out what is this. Java is considered as static type programming, whereas Python is considered as dynamic type programming. Let's see what is Python and what is Java doing. If you see in the first line, I want to assign some variable. I want to assign some value to a variable, right? So here what I'm doing, I'm assigning a equal to data and I'm assigning b equal to 6. I'm assigning some value to some variable. What is variable we'll see in the next class, but at least at this point of time, I'm assigning some values to a variable. But here what is happening? Before we even assign, we have to tell that what type of that variable is. Am I going to assign a string value? Am I going to assign an integer value? Am I going to assign a decimal value? I need to clearly define before using. I need to define before using, and this is called static type programming. You have to declare what type of variables they are before assigning a value. So if I'm going to assign a equal to data, you need to tell what value I'm going to store it in that A, you have to mention that clearly. This is called static type programming. Python, you do whatever you want, you assign whatever you want. After you assign, I'll take care of the data type. If you want to assign data, assign it to me. If you want to assign age, you assign it to me. You need not define any data type as such. Now, this is called dynamic type programming, which is saving our time, right? Which is saving our time. No need to mention the data type. So this is why it is called dynamic type programming. Okay. Now, so I need to very proudly tell you that no one can ever replace Java. Java is an evergreen. The first ever technology that I worked in my career in 2014 is on Java. So it is also very close to my heart. But one thing I can tell you is Java has a very different use case. Even today, no one can ever replace Java. Java is very good for developing your web applications, enterprise applications, and it is very good for testing. So for example, if you want to build a IRCTC website, if you want to build a ICAC website, right? If you want to build your mobile app, the mobile app which you're using, right? If you want to build all this, Java, you can write it, the code, and you can implement it, right? So there is no one who can replace Java. But slightly, there are some issues as well. Imagine I want to build a pipeline, or imagine I want to build some data science algorithms. I'm not saying it's not possible in Java. It is possible in Java, but it will take hundreds of lines. And we're all lazy people. We are in the 21st century. And when we are with the artificial intelligence world, we're all lazy, right? We're all lazy. Why will I go and write 100 lines? That's what I said. Already you're climbing a big mountain. And if you write that, if you climb that mountain with Java in your hand, you'll fall in between because Java is so heavy. Cannot write 100 lines of code. So to overcome that, we are going with Python. So in Python also, you can build some web application, desktop application scripting, but most importantly, your Python is well suited for your data science, data analytics, and data engineering. You're all going to learn data engineering. For data engineering, you will be needing certain libraries, and that libraries we will be using that in the Python. So what is the main advantage of Python is already some libraries has been written for you and you can go and reuse it. In your college times, in your college you would have had a library, right? What do you like? What do you mean by library? Library is a place where they have collected all the type of books and they've kept there. If you want to do some research, you will go to a library, you will figure out which book it is and you'll write up your own research, right? Same thing. Already there are a lot of libraries that has been mentioned in Python. You can go and reuse it, right? So if you ask me, if you want to build a KSR website, see, listen carefully. If you want to build a KSR website, your KSR website can be built in Java. Your KSR website can be built in Python, but mostly will be preferring Java because Java is an evergreen. You can build an enterprise and web application. There you can write a complex code because it's fine. We are just going to use it. But when it comes to a machine learning or a data science or a data analytics or a data engineering, here I cannot write 100 lines. Here I cannot write 1000 lines. For that, I prefer Python. So a programming language, when I'm comparing, every programming language is same. Today, I cannot go and say that Telugu is superior than English. No. I cannot say Hindi is superior than English. No. I cannot say Kannada or Tamil is great. No. It all depends on which state you belong to and with whom you're communicating. Similarly, Java is not superior to Python. Python is not superior to Java. Everything is having their own positives and negatives. But for me, I don't want to write a complex, big code. For simple print statement itself, Java is taking that much offline. I'm not interested in that. Already I'm learning one of the toughest subject, data engineering. Why will I make still complex by learning Java? So that is why we are writing it in Python. So Python is very beautiful way of writing it because it comes with the easy syntax and it is very helpful for data related technologies. And that is why we are preferring Python. Okay, so with this statically typed programming and dynamically typed programming, the other usefulness of Python is the reason why Python become famous. I'll tell you. Python started taking all the features from different people. Okay, in a cricket match, if you are a captain of a team, listen carefully. Okay, listen carefully. You are a captain of a team. You have to pick one person. You have to pick one person from the team. Will you prefer picking batsman? Will you prefer picking bowler? Or will you prefer picking an all-rounder? I want you to pick only one
Obviously,
person.
all right. Obviously, when we have to choose, we can only one. Then it is of all rounder.
Why? Why you have to choose only all-rounder?
Why? Because he can play as well as he can bowl. He can mold himself according to the match.
Okay, very good. In a team, if I want to pick one person, I cannot rely only on batting. I cannot rely only on bowler. I have to pick a person who knows both. If I pick a both, right, that person may not be better in bowling than the bowler. That person may not be better than the batter, but he knows a decent batting and decent bowling. We'll consider as an Indian team, right? Okay, let's say Virat Kohli is the best batsman. Your Hardik Pandya may not match Virat Kohli in terms of the consistency, but he may bat. Similarly, you take the best bowler Indian team, Jasprit Bumrah. Hardik Pandya may not match exactly what Bumrah is doing, but he can bowl. So obviously, if I want to pick one person from Virat Kohli, Bumrah, as well as Hardik Pandya, I'll pick Hardik Pandya because he's a all-rounder, right? So even Python also, what it is doing is it is trying to get some features from the other languages. And that is why today it is famous. It has picked some functional logic from C. It has picked some OOPS concept from Java. And it has also picked from scripting languages from Perl and Shell. And there is another one which is called modular, like you can write a code by model. And that also it has picked. So I would say Python is a combination of 4 to 5 languages. Don't think too much about what is C++, what is Java, what is shell scripting, what is Perl. Don't think too much. I can say that you can do everything with Python. You can write some scripting, you can write some modular code, you can write some functional code, you can write some OOPS code. OOPS is something which we'll see in the later part, but still I'm giving you a hint. So Python can do everything just like an all-rounder who can bat, who can field, who can even bowl, who can do everything like this. But to be precise, Python may not be best in that field. So if you ask a web development, you can build a web application in Python, but not better than Java. You can write a scripting in Python, but maybe not better than the Perl or Shell. But it is a decent in doing. For me, a decent person is enough. I'm not looking for a person who's an expert. For me, a decent way of writing is enough. And that is why today Python is famous because with Python, there is nothing like impossible. Everything you can do it. Everything we can do it. So it has taken many features from many other programming language and it has created as a one component, and that is nothing but Python. So Python will take some features from Java, some features from Perl, Shell, some features from modular programming. So that is why on a whole, this has been considered as a daily using programming language. Now, okay. So larger community, yeah, a lot of people are there to help. Easy syntax, yeah, I've shown you a simple programming code between the Java and Python. And now we'll talk about open source. So open sources, there is nothing called licensing here. Anyone can go and download, anyone can start using in your system. So open sources is very much open. Okay, they have lakhs of libraries that has been written in Python, and you yourself can go and use any library without asking anyone. So it's an open library for every of you. So you can please go and start installing and using it. So that's an open source for you. Very rich libraries. So this is what I was talking about, right? Already someone has written the logic. You simply need to know what I'm going to use among this library. See, I'm not asking you to write a new novel, or I'm not asking you to write a new storybook. Already there are storybooks available in the library. You have to please go and refer that. Similarly, here also, there are lakhs of libraries they have already written in Python. For example, I want to do some data cleaning. I want to do some data pulling. I want to do some analysis. Nothing to worry. Already they have written the code. You simply need to know what library I have to use for what functionality. If you know that, Python is very, very easy. The good thing about Python and why it is becoming famous, particularly for data related subjects, are very easy. They give everything for you. You simply need to go and use it. So rich libraries is also making us to use this. And job opportunities. Job opportunities. And we can see that Python stands on top. And that's why I'm telling you, if you learn Python, you can become a web developer, you can become a scripting developer, you can become a modular code developer, you can become a data scientist, you can become a data engineer, you can become a data analyst, you can become anything which uses Python, because language is you already have learned. Okay, just imagine, okay, I know English, so I can become a school teacher, I can become a college teacher, I can even go for conferences, right? Even if I want to give a commentary for an Indian team, I can go for that, right? I can even go for parliament. See, that's the advantage of knowing English. If you know English, opportunities are more. As simple as that. You learn Python, there are other opportunities as well. Though we are here to learn data engineering, but knowing one programming language, it's like always on top. I keep telling this to all my other students as well. If you know one programming language, you're one step down to a layoff. Okay, what do you mean by that is, a guy who doesn't know programming language and a guy who knows a programming language, a guy who doesn't know always will be at risk. But a guy who knows a programming language, it could be any programming language, you'll always be one step ahead. That you'll be a bit safe. Because they know, okay, knowing a programming language, they know it. Okay, if not this role, they can become any other role. So tomorrow, if this role is not working out to me, I can even go for a call center, BPO, and I can speak because I know English. Even though I don't like this job, I can go for another job. So that way, knowing Python, you have lot of job opportunities. You can become a full stack Python developer. You can become a web developer. You can become a UI developer. You can become a data related subject role, anything. So learning Python is always an advantage in terms of job opportunities. And platform independent. You can get Python to be installed in any OS which you use. Are you a Windows user? Come on, you can do it. Are you a Mac user? Yes, come on, you can install Python. Or are you a Ubuntu user? A shell scripted? Yeah, you can use it. So Python does not rely on platform. You use any system, so Python can be installed in any of the systems. Now, this all properties is making Python useful for me, right? So why to use Python for data engineering? Large community, job opportunities, platform independent, easy syntax, rich libraries, and open source. Well, there is nothing that I need to tell about Python going forward. Every single thing you can do it with the help of Python. Okay. Now, for this Python, why we are considered to be more helpful for us is, as I told, it can do everything for us, right? So it is free, first of all, free and open source. Anyone can go and install. It has some rich libraries, memory management, and it can be installed in any of the OS. It's readable, it is easy to learn, and come on, you can do everything, right? So these are the some of the features. One first standard student is learning Python. Why can't we learn, right? So we have already crossed a lot of tough subjects in our career. So it's not that easy. It's not that difficult to learn. It's very easy. Just need to focus on some basics. And all of these features, we have decided to go with Python. You can build a web application, desktop application, games you can build, software development, scientific calculation, business applications. You can also have some video-based, audio-based applications, CAD applications, enterprise applications. You can also have an image processing. Well, I can tell that you can do everything. But for a web application and desktop application, maybe Java is a better one. You can also do with Python, right? You can also do with Python, but we'll prefer Java. Yesterday, there are a couple of relatives who came to my home, and we thought, okay, let us serve some good food. My mom also knows cooking. I also know cooking, but my mom did not allow me to do. I know cooking, but my mom did not allow me to do. Why?
Because she have very good experience more than you.
Exactly. So she's been doing cooking for 30 years. I've been doing cooking for 3 years. And the most important is when few people are coming extra, you need to know the proper quantity. You may be cooking regularly for 4 people in your house, but when 8 people come to yours, you need to know the quantity. So that is where she's good at. But I can still do it. If I have to prepare a food for 8 people, what I would have done is I know how to prepare for 4 people. Again, I'll prepare for 4 people. Maybe I'll mix it because I don't know what quantity I need to put for 8 because this is what I regularly do. Right. So this type of challenges I may get it as a beginner. But for web application and desktop application, Java is always a evergreen. I'm not saying Python is bad. Python is good. It is good in different roles. It's like an all-rounder. The best example of Python, you can keep it as a Hardik Pandya. He knows batting, he knows fielding, he knows bowling, he knows everything. But he's not in the top ranking. So that's why people call this as a Python as an underrated language. But there is a lot you can do with the Python. Okay. So with all this, we need a software. We need a software. That software we are going to have is Anaconda. Again, this is a snake name. What is the difference between Python and Anaconda? Both are snake, I know, but what is the difference?
Anaconda is bigger size than Python.
Are you
Yes,
sure?
yes, Santosh. Anaconda is a bigger size.
Okay, good to know. So Anaconda is also a snake. Python is also snake. I don't know why these people have preferred only the snake names, but that's fine. And Anaconda is a software that is required. Okay, now we have come to installation now. Okay, we have seen what is Python, we have seen why history, we have seen what is a need. Now we'll install Python. To install Python, it's very easy. It's very easy. So let me tell you how to install Python. I'll be sharing this document with you. I'll be sharing with document with you. Please go through this. Before coming to the next class, I want you to install this and come. 6 years back, 7 years back, it was very difficult to install Python. So you may see that I have to open a command prompt. I have to first download a Python. Then I have to go and download particularly for my system. Then I have to come here. Then I have to see here. Then again, I have to go and map it. All this, it was very difficult. 6 to 7 years back. But in the recent times, they have come up with one software. See, all these are like old way of doing it. Don't do all this. This is what we need to do from here. Okay. So in the recent times, what they have brought is they have brought an environment for us, which is called Anaconda. If you install Anaconda, Anaconda will come with every other packages. Initially, that was not the case. Initially, that was not the case. 6 years back, 7 years back, it was very hard for us to install Python, but now it has made very easier. Now, what I really need is I need to go and install only a software called Anaconda. So people who have learned SQL, with the software which you have used is MySQL Workbench. Similarly, people who are learning Python, the software that we are going to install will be Anaconda. So let's install Anaconda. And from here, you need to install it. Tomorrow, while coming to the class, I want everyone to do this, to install Anaconda. It's very difficult to install because everything is ready for you. You just need to implement it. Please go and search Anaconda, download. You'll get it, Anaconda distribution. Click it. You'll be taken to here. Okay. You'll be taken to this site. And you can choose whether you want a Windows, Mac, or this one. Just go and click download. After clicking download, it will download here. Okay, this is downloading. It just says thank you for downloading, and it's actually downloading. It is a 594 MB. I have installed in 2022. So you can see that Anaconda 3 2022 version, but now you are installing 2024. So 2024 version will come. So any version should work. Then I'll put it into one folder. Maybe I'll have my own drive and I've put it into one folder. And very easy, double click. Welcome to Anaconda 3. Next. Next. Just me. Next. Next. Install. That's it. And it takes at least 15 to 20 minutes for getting all these libraries. Okay, it's setting up all the package. See, I started to install. Where? Double click I did, right? Install, right? I did it at 6:14. So it has installed 6:24. So 10 minutes it will take. 10-15 minutes it will take to install your first time. And please go and click next. And once you click, the Anaconda installation is complete. Finish. Very easy. I have never seen any tool which is easier than this for installation. Okay, after installing, that's all. Now what you need to do? Go to your search and search Anaconda Navigator. Okay, you'll see this. You'll see the Anaconda Navigator. Just click the Anaconda Navigator and you will see this Anaconda opening in your machine. Okay, so this is a Anaconda tool that we have it. Okay, so within the tool we have lot of other libraries. Okay, if you want to see, Anaconda will have Python. I've told you clearly, you can write any logic in this Python. So if you have a PyCharm, this is for your web application. It is clearly says, right, fully fledged IDE and web application, right? And if you want to use for a visualization, you can use this as well. If you want to write some statistical code, you can use this R. And if you want to use it for interactive testing, debugging, you can go with Spider. And if you want to have some platforms, Oracle platforms, you can use this. So like this, each one has different way of writing it, right? But what we need is there is something called Jupyter Notebook. So it is a web-based interactive computing notebook environment. This is a human readable. I want this. I have joined this course not to become a gaming developer. I have joined this course not to become a web developer. I have joined this course not to become a tester. So avoid all the other tools. You have joined here for becoming a data engineer. So please go and give launch. So we need a Jupyter notebook for our data engineering. Okay, so once you open this Jupyter notebook, this is a Jupyter notebook. Okay, the easiest way is first you open Anaconda Navigator. In the Navigator, there is a Jupyter notebook and where you can go and click launch. Okay, but ideally I will not do this because this tool is a heavy tool. This Anaconda Navigator is a very heavy tool. So I will not always go and open this. So what I'll do is I'll close this now. If you want to open a Jupyter notebook, once you install the Anaconda Navigator, you have to go here and click launch, but I will not do it every time. So I'll quit. So instead what I can do is directly I can open the Jupyter notebook. Directly I can open the Jupyter notebook. Okay, I'll open the Jupyter notebook directly and directly you will be getting the same screen. This is the screen. Now this is where going forward for the next 20 days, we are going to use this. For the next 20 days, we are going to use this. Installation is done. So we are going to write our first code. Okay, let's write our first code. Let's write our first code. To write the first code, go to new and click this Python 3 and click this Python 3. Okay, and here you can write our first code. How many of you believe in this Rahu Kala, good time, bad time? Anyone?
I believe, Santosh.
What about others?
Yes.
I too believe.
Okay.
Mm.
Today is Monday, right? Monday, what time is Rahu Kala? 6:30 to 7:30, yeah? Somewhere I've seen. Let me search.
7:30 to 9.
They have specific day, right? Monday, I think it's okay, 7:30 to 9. Okay. So I request you to not to start writing coding today. At least start after 9 o'clock. But I will write. Okay. I will write because I don't believe in this. But if you're believing in starting your coding, please don't start in the Rahu Kala, 7:30 to 9. Try it after 1 hour. But to write our first code, print hello world. Such a easy tool for us to write the code. That's it. That's it. I want to add two numbers. A equal to 5, B equal to 3, C equal to A plus B. Print of C. See how easy it is? How easy it is. The Jupyter notebook is going to help us for writing our code and seeing the result. And you can see this. This is a coding which I'm writing and this is the answer. This is a coding which I'm writing and this is the answer. So this is how we are going to write our code in future, which is called Jupyter Notebook. I personally like this way of writing because in my childhood days, to get a better handwriting, we used to get that double line notebook. Rather than writing in that 4-line notebook, ruled or unruled, we have written in double line notebook. This is very similar to your double line notebook. See how clean it is. See how neat it is. Okay, and then you name the file name Python coding 21 10 20. I can name the file. Tomorrow you come back, you can open the same file. So before coming to the next class, can I expect you to install this and write the first code? Just simply go and write a hello world and do a simple addition. I will tell you how to write in the next few classes, but at this point of time, I want you to check whether Python is working or not. Python is working or not, you can check it directly with the help of print statement and a simple addition. Any questions?
So Santosh, this Jupyter notebook is only for learning perspective, or when we are actually writing code or something?
You'll be doing this in the real time as well.
And if we wanted to migrate to Gate or something, so that can be
Yes,
used.
yes,
Okay.
yes. What we are learning today, the same thing we'll be writing in a last day as well in our projects. So blindly go with Jupyter Notebook.
Means we don't use any ID.
No, we don't use any ID. It all depends on different projects. For data engineering particularly, we will be using Databricks. In future, it will come. So Databricks is a next version of this Jupyter Notebook. So that is why we are just following with Jupyter Notebook. If you want to build a web application, some ID is required. For you, this itself is ID. Jupyter Notebook is enough for writing our code.
Okay. And Santosh, I have another question. I have seen this course details, and a few of my friends working in as a data engineers, and the most of the work related to ADF and also Databricks. But when I see it's only 12 hours are there, will that sufficient? I mean, the most of the work or everything job related to Databricks and ADF and also this the recent one, the advanced one. That's these three only. But
So
that
yeah, if I understood your question, you're saying that there is nothing mentioned in our syllabus, correct?
I mean, it was mentioned only 12 hours would be the duration of teaching for
See, I'll tell
Databricks.
you,
Mhm.
if I want to mention every single topic in the syllabus, it will become like a 35 pages booklet. That many topics are there in data engineering. Okay, so we have precisely put into a component and we've made it short. That doesn't mean that we'll be covering only that. We are covering for 100 days. It comes to 120 hours. Whatever I'm doing in the project, that I'll be covering. So Data Factory, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks. In Azure Databricks will be like, again, we're going with the Delta tables, Delta Live tables. And again, with respect to Azure Data Factory, we'll be covering almost like 15 activities. Everything will be covering. Okay, if you're looking that into a syllabus like step by step, it will become like a 30 pages booklet. So that we have avoided. We'll be covering as and then what is required for a data engineering role. Every single topic will be covered.
How about Fabric?
Yes, Fabric will be covering. It's a new topic that we have launched this particular batch. So whatever we are doing on project in ADF, the same project we will do it in Fabric. So it will take another 1 week. Fabric will be like a 1 week syllabus.
Okay. I think nowadays most of the companies are preferring the Fabric, right?
Did you attend my last class?
No, I didn't receive link for last class.
Please go through my last class. I've clearly explained what is Fabric, what is Azure, and what companies are doing.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You
And
can
now,
watch our recordings in our YouTube as well. I've clearly explained which companies are using, which companies are not using, why we have to prefer Fabric, what is the difference between Fabric and Azure. I've explained in detail.
sure. I'll go through that one. And another thing in the starting of this class, you mentioned there is a SQL, some other, recorded videos will be provided. So idea of this thing is we need to go through those SQL simultaneously when you are covering this Python, and after this
See,
Python comes,
I'll tell
then
you what is the problem. This is SQL. This is Python. Okay. This is data warehousing. And again, big data. In the big data, again, we have Spark and Hadoop. Okay. And Next we have Azure. Okay, I'll tell you what is happening. Imagine I'm starting SQL in the month of October. Or I'm starting in the month of September. Okay, so September, this is going to be October, this is going to be November, and this is going to be December, and this will be completed in the month of January. So imagine I've started SQL in September. Can I say that the next batch I can start only in the February?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think all the people will be able to wait for 5 months?
No. Yeah.
No. So that is why what we have done, we are accepting new admission here also. People who want to join this course in the month of October. So there are a lot of people who have joined in the month in this course for September. So they have completed SQL. Now you people have joined in the month of October. So in October, we are learning Python. In the November, we may start some other batch, right? There you can attend SQL. So we are actually, since you have joined for Python, we don't want to waste your time, wait for the next 5 months. So you can continue from Python freshly in this live class. For SQL, since we have already covered for this particular batch, you will also get recording. Or if you feel like you want to attend some live classes, you can attend any other batch which starts every month. Did I make it clear? SQL, you can join in KSR any batch, any course from any trainer. It is completely flexible. From Python, we have joined here. From here, it will be continuation. Python, data warehousing, big data Spark, big data Azure, all we will go together. Only thing is, since you did not reach out to us in September, you have reached out to us in October. Maybe you have missed SQL, but nothing to worry. You already have a SQL recording in the own particular batch. Same time recording. We have 20 classes we have already covered. You can go through the SQL recordings. Or if you feel like, no, I have to listen to live classes, come on, you can do it. You can attend any other batch. Evening we have batch. Night we have batch, late night we have batch. You can attend any batch and you can make that learning together. It's just going to be 20 classes. Is it clear? Any other question?
In our 20 days, what libraries we are learning?
The libraries which is going to help us for data engineering, like pandas, numpy, those type of things, exception handling, data cleaning, data transformations.
Mainly NumPy and Panda we will be learning in 20 days, next 20 days.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So tomorrow before you come, I would like to see this hello world written in your notebook. Installation file, I'll share it with you. Very easy. Just go and search Anaconda download. It's a very easy installation. And I need not open Anaconda installation every time. You can directly go and say Jupyter notebook, and automatically that Jupyter notebook will open this. And after you open this, you can simply go and write the any code. Just write some code within quotes, and there is a run button here. Just click that run button and automatically you'll get the output. Okay, so let's stop here and continue in the next class. From the next class, the actual topic Python starts. End of PPTs, end of theory classes. From tomorrow, it's going to be completely hands-on session where we'll be working with this tool. Is that clear?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We'll stop here. We'll continue.